guys, it's Allie Actuality. I'm still trying to figure out my thing, my intro, my everything. I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. It's just one of the things that cracks me up whenever I watch other people's stories, because it's nice to remember that I wasn't the only dumbass kid. So I remember back when I was in probably like second grade, so I was like, what, 7 or 8. It was just really fucking hot. It was like 105 degrees out. It was one of those blazing days where no amount of hiding in the shade was going to save you from the fucking sun. And I just remember that there was like this weird stigma of like the kids that go inside to hide from the heat. I was like, man, I can't be one of those kids that's like, it's like if you went inside you were a fucking pussy. Like, I'm 7. I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but if I'm hot, I'm gonna go inside. But this day, for some godforsaken reason, I was like, no, I'm not going inside. I'm not gonna be that fucking kid. So I decided that I was gonna cool down some other way. And I just happened to look in the grass, and I don't know if they're strawberries, but they look like tiny little strawberries. And I picked them one by one. I had like a little whole handful, and I crushed them up, and I just rubbed them all over my skin. Now, God, Allie, why the hell would you do that? I don't know, I just did it. It's just one of those dumbass kid moments. Ooh, title. So I broke out in hives. Now, one thing that you have to know about me is that I'm allergic to fruits. Like, I'm allergic to every single fruit you can think of, except for grapefruit, lemons, limes, and mangoes. But mangoes, I still get kind of allergic to, but not drastically. If you know why that is, leave it in the comments below, or if you struggle with it, just say something. I want to be not the only kid where people are like, oh, do you like only eat like rice and meat all the time? Like, yeah, so what? So obviously I freaked the fuck out, and I ran, and I was like, ah, I'm dying. Like, freaking help me out. And so they were like, oh my God, we don't know what you have. You might have poison ivy. We have to go take you home. So I told my dad what happened. He was like, it was a poison ivy. I was like, no. I rubbed strawberries all over my skin, Dad. So he was like, oh, okay. So he like dropped me in the bathtub and put Epsom salt, I think, something like that. It's like the little medical salt stuff. And I bathed in it for like half an hour, and it was fine. Now here's the weird part. The next weekend, I didn't have any problems with it like throughout the entire week until we went to the zoo. Well, obviously I was out in the sun for like a long period of time, and my arms and my legs, like the only parts that were exposed, like bursted out in like hives and like this crazy red puffy rash. And I mean, it probably has something to do with the fact that those were the only areas that I like put the strawberries on, but it got bad. Like, it got bad. And I don't know, though, like, my parents are Asian as hell, so they were like, well, you're still not going to a doctor, we're gonna figure this out on our own. And it just kind of went away, and I just never dealt with it before. So, good, I guess. My next story is really short. I remember it, and I think it's really funny. Just how dramatic I was. So I was on the playground, and it was like a part where all of the parts like conjoined, and there was like a circle in the middle of the playground, and there was just a hole. And mind you, I am already 4'10". Like, right now, I am 4'10". So at that age, I was like fucking 2 feet. I was tiny as hell. And I just remember walking and then not walking anymore. And I looked down, and my entire leg up until like past my knee is in this hole. I started screaming like, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. Like, there's nothing else that is happening. I'm not just stuck, I'm dying. And so, of course, people eventually started coming over, And the teachers came over and they were like, what the fuck? And so they started helping me out. And just with some like picking up, they were like, okay, I got out. But I just remember while I was in that hole, I was like, this is it. This is how I die. They're gonna cut my leg off, and this is my last day as an able-bodied child. I'm gonna die. This is how I die. And then the other thought was that they're gonna have to disassemble the entire playground because of my leg. And I was like, oh man, all the kids are gonna hate me. Oh my God, I destroyed the playground. So it was fine. I got out and it was fine. This next story. Paige loves my roommate and my best friend. She has been waiting to hear this story forever because I fucking laugh every time I remember. But she knows I wanted to make a video about it, so she's like, no, don't tell me. I want to watch the video and I want to genuinely laugh about it. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll put it in my video and I'll make sure it's extra funny. So I hope it's extra funny. I think I'm super funny, so whatever. That's all that matters. I was helping my mom cut vegetables. And so the one vegetable that I ended up with was a carrot. And I just remember cutting these carrots like, you know, like a normal fucking human being, just cutting it. And I just remember thinking, God, this is taking so long. I don't have time to do this. I have like other shenanigans to do. I don't even know. And mind you, I wasn't even like a child. I was like 12 or 13. I should have been able-minded to be like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't do this. But I did it. So instead of turning the carrot up, you know, like just up and then cutting down away from my fingers, I went, you see what my hands are doing? That's what happened with the knife in my finger. And I just remember slipping and like right into my finger, and I remember hearing it like bounce off of my finger bone, like the bone of my finger. And I remember like, and I just remember looking at it like, it's not bleeding, nothing's coming out. And then when it started bleeding, it wouldn't stop bleeding. Like it was bleeding profusely, and I was like, oh my God, I can't show my mom. And my mom's like turned around like cutting her own vegetables. And I was like, I can't show my mom. My mom is gonna think I'm an idiot. I have to go wash it off. So I ran to the bathroom, and I don't know why people, like the first thing that's going to happen is like, oh, I have to run it underwater. Heads up, just don't run it underwater. And if you're gonna run it underwater to like clean the excess blood, and then wrap it up and just let your body coagulate. I'm pretty sure that's the word, coagulate, on its own. If it's not, I'm so sorry. Just let it clog up on its own. Like your body will do it with its own blood cells and it'll stop bleeding by itself. If you run water over it, it doesn't stop bleeding, all right? So I just kept it under the water, and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm pretty sure, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I was just watching it, and I was just watching all of the water turn red while the finger was running under the water, and all the water underneath it was turning like orange, and I was just watching that, and I just remember thinking like, oh my God, I have a scar. So I just remember staring at it and staring at it and staring, and just I started realizing how cold it was getting in the room. And I just took a moment, still running my finger under the water. I would look up at myself, and I'm like, man, wow, I can't. And like that was like the first sign. Like I couldn't think anything. It was blank. It was a blank slate. And I just remember like, oh shit. Okay, no. If I stare at myself and I concentrate, I'm not gonna pass out. And I remember doing this. My finger's still running under the water. I'm not gonna pass out. I'm not gonna pass out. Nope. Nope. And any fucking normal ass person would have been like, oh man, I better call my mom or something. Nope. I was like, no, I'm gonna handle this shit myself. I'm gonna stare at myself in the fucking mirror, and I'm not gonna die or pass out or anything. I'm fine. I just remember staring at myself, and then I wasn't staring at myself anymore. I blacked out. I fucking fainted on like the fucking tile ass floor, no cushion whatsoever. I fainted. And I just remember I don't remember much, but I just remember my mom walking in and going, "Owie!" And I was like, I cut my finger. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is all from like a cut on my finger. I passed the fuck out and just staring at my fucking ass finger. God forbid I see anyone else's blood or coming out of their body. Like, I'm done. I'm gonna die. I'm faint. I will puke and then faint. God, who even knows? I just laughed, and my mom got me food, and I put a Band-Aid on my finger, which stopped bleeding. Yeah. Now this last story is something that has actually kind of stayed with me up until now, and I just have this intense fear of like people fighting for me, and just like people getting hurt because of something that I essentially caused. Like, that's just a really big fear for me. Like, God forbid my boyfriend has to fight for me. Like, I don't want it to ever happen. And it's probably because this event happened. I don't really know, but I remember this event, like, scarred me already as it was. Like, I was already terrified and crying because of it. I don't know. Who knows? I was bullied by this girl. Let's call her Sarah. I was bullied by this girl in elementary school. I never figured out why. My parents were always like, it's because you're pretty. I don't know. Maybe there was another reason. Who knows? But she just did not like me. But she was already pretty weird. Like, she would, like, spit all over the playground, and, like, if you were, like, walking through the playground, or, God forbid, on your hands and knees, you would touch some shit. Like, she was just fucking weird. But anyway, her favorite plaything was me, because I was just, like, 2 feet tall, and she could kick me around, and I couldn't do shit. So, she, like, really hurt me a lot of the times. And, I mean, thankfully there was no, like, bleeding or anything, no concussions, but this one particular time, I, was, like, going through this phase where I loved, like, this little bag. I don't know why. And it wasn't even, like, a purse. It was, like, a little, like, cylinder-shaped kind of thing. It was, like, a pencil pouch. But I was obsessed with it, and I, like, carried it with me, like, everywhere I went. I was just walking one day, like, carrying my little purse pouch? My perch. And, she was playing kickball, like, by herself, and the ball rolled towards me. I didn't see who kicked it, so I picked it up, and I was like, ooh, ball. And she, like, ran towards me and was like, that's mine. Like, playground, like, movie bully 101. Like, she came up and was like, that's my ball. And she grabbed it from me. And I just remember, like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay, like, have your fucking ball, bitch. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, take it. And okay, this is just so weird. I remember that I was, like, standing, like, in this one place. And she, like, ran past me and, like, rammed me. And then I, like, stumbled back. And then from where she ran, she, like, ran back again. And she just did this, like, multiple fucking times. And it was just tipping me over like a fucking cow. Like, stop! She just kept hitting me. Like, wasn't punching me, nothing like that. She was just, like, irritating me, if anything. Just, like, pushing me to and fro. Like, stop! So I remember, like, I was hitting her with, like, my tiny-ass little purse that only had, like, candy in it, and I was like, stop! Like, I couldn't fight her. She was literally, like, a foot taller than me. Like, literally a foot taller than me, which is probably, like, 3 feet, so. And, I remember the big kid in our class. He was like cool too. He like walked over, let's call him Sean. He like walked over and was like, "Hey, Sarah, why like this whole scene was like from a movie." He went, "Hey, Sarah, why don't you pick on someone your own size?" And so Sarah like walked over to him, and like he was way taller than her, way bigger, like just way more girthy. And he like they were like chest to chest, like full on like ready to fight. Like they were like buffing it out. And I remember like running underneath the playground and crying. Like I was like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing else that I can do. I can't like separate them. Like I'm gonna die. So I like got up from the playground. I was like, oh, I have to get a teacher. And so I ran over to my teacher and like crying my eyes out, like completely incoherent. Incoherent? Huh. Anyway, I was speaking incoherently. Yeah. I just was like, Sean's fighting for me and Sarah was fighting and she's bullying me and Sean is gonna fight her, he's gonna get in trouble. Like, I'm 100% sure that's exactly what I sounded like as a kid when I cried. I don't know, that's just exactly what I'm pretty sure I sounded like. Anyway, so, like, and this is just like a example of like the public education system. She looks at me and goes, "Oh, well, I didn't see it, Allie." And so obviously like Sean and Sarah have stopped fighting at this point, so I have like no fucking proof. I'm just standing there like a little shit, like paddling and crying. And she just goes, but like didn't even bother to talk to Sarah. She was just like, "Oh, I didn't see it." So I'm pretty, so like in the future, like it started getting pretty bad. Like Sarah would steal my shit. And I told my parents, and my parents like didn't stand for any of that shit. Like it got sent up like to the principal, and the principal was like, "Oh my god!" Like the principal loved me because I was like this tiny little munchkin ass kid. Like I was cute as hell. So they got that sorted out, and she never bothered me ever again. She got reported to her parents, got in a bunch of trouble. So bitch. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, don't forget, because I have like 2. And actually, no, just kidding, I only have 1. The other 3 are friends. So help me out, man. I'm not asking for much. Just click that button at the end of the video and watch my other video. It was pretty funny. I think it was pretty good. And just, yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye. Instead of like standing like upright and then like tripping and like just kind of falling forward, my ass stands up